Sorry, I have been sick. I don't remember where I last left off with the rash and stuff, but it's day 2 of taking medicine for it, and my eyesight is still kind of bad. I still have shaky. My voice and stuff, I'm not stuttering as much, but it's still there, kinda. My memory is still really bad, and all the side effects, but I'm not nauseous, and that was what they were really worried about, because that was another symptom that I probably needed to get to the hospital. I probably should have went to the hospital sooner, but I didn't, because I've never had a rash before. I didn't know how it was supposed to go, and I didn't know what to look out for and all that. I just thought, okay, it's itchy, and I'm having these issues because of my medicine or whatever. But to find out I have Steven Johnson syndrome, it was like, what? Okay. But yeah, my voice still sounds kind of shaky. I'm not about to cry. I hate that, because whenever I was talking to nurses and stuff, they would look at me like they needed to comfort me. I'm like, ugh. I'm just gonna let you know that my voice sounds shaky because of the stuff I'm going through. Not that I wanted to do that at all. No, I'm not about to cry. But yeah, so I couldn't remember what all I told you, but I really wanted to say a little bit more, and just in case I miss anything. So I think my rash and stuff is getting better, it's not swelled up, but I'm also not having to itch it as much, scratch it, sorry. It's supposed to be a serious sign or maybe it's supposed to peel, I don't know. I thought it was peeling, and it wasn't. It was a stick or something on me. Memory loss, like I said, which is normal because I had to cut dry on all my medicine, because they couldn't tell which one exactly it was. We had good hints which one it was, but you can't risk it because you can die when you have Steven Johnson syndrome. It's pretty serious. So they couldn't slowly get me off because they didn't want me to die. So I had to stop cold turkey, and so my PTSD and symptoms and anxiety and all that is kind of higher than usual. Well, especially now that I'm on medicine, but even without, even before the medicine and stuff, I wasn't normally having hallucinations and stuff. So that's not fun, because stuff happens, and I hear stuff, and I don't know if it's real or not, and I end up always looking a little silly, if you will, because I'm so skittish, and I'll be like, did you hear that? And he's like, well, Jonathan would be like, well, what is it? And I was like, somebody's playing music, but it doesn't sound like outside, it sounds like it's inside. It sounded like it was in the attic. I was like, somebody's in the attic. Nobody's in the attic, Alexia. No one's in the attic. Anyways, stuff like that. All last night, I saw a shadow person. If you're spiritual, you know what I'm talking about. I've seen them before, but now that I'm seeing them when I'm hallucinating, I'm like, did I just hallucinate that before and I didn't know? Or, I don't know. And then, my plants, I was hallucinating. My plants were moving, dancing all night last night. It sounds so silly, but in the middle of the night when you see that shit, it's fucking scary. What the fuck? Okay. So eventually I ended up walking up to them, and then they stopped. I was like, okay, so, it's whatever. And then I go back and I lay down and they don't do it again. So I'm like, maybe I just need to start confronting these. Yeah, maybe I just need to start confronting my hallucinations, except for the shadow person that I saw. He or she, or they, tipped their head in, and then as soon as we made eye contact, they ran off. It just ran off. It pulled it on its hood. It was wearing black hood, because when you go like this on something, that's what you're pulling usually. And they ran off, and I'm like, I've never seen one and had them run off. I'm happy to be able to be outside, because me being sick all week, it was hard for me to get out of bed. there's times where I really thought about bringing something. Sorry, the neighbor's dogs are barking. Bringing something I could just pee in next to the bed. That's how, like, instantly when I would raise up, I would almost fall. I didn't have good balance, and I felt nauseous, like, so bad. Like, it would almost send me into an instant, like, panic attack, because I don't like being sick. So as soon as I would feel sick, my blood pressure, oh my gosh, would raise, and yeah, my heart would, like, spike, and I would almost have, like, a panic attack. And then for me, my panic attack, like, if I go to pass out after a panic attack or because of a panic attack, they get so, like, it makes me so sick right before. So I usually pass out. And I hate that feeling, so it's a lot of things. It is a lot. But today is mine and Jonathan's 3-year anniversary, so I don't even want to do anything. There's been a lot going on, as you guys can see. I also don't care to spend money on stuff I don't really need anything. He got me flowers at the beginning of the month, and that's all I really ask for is, like, you know, like, we have a tradition that at the beginning of every September, he gets me yellow flowers, because he did that after our first date. He sent me yellow flowers, and it's just a color that really means a lot to me. So yeah, all I care about is getting my yellow flowers, and then I'm good. I'm Gucci. I tell people I'm a cheap date all the time. Like, literally, like, I don't understand people who, like, don't like, I don't know, like, fast food. Like, I don't know, like, sometimes I do get in the mood to, like, get dressed up and go somewhere nice, but you don't have to do that in order for it to be, like, I don't agree with people who think that would be a bad date. Like, if you're with the right person, like, it's a fucking date. Even if we're just going to the gas station eating slushies and snacks out in the parking lot, like, that's a fucking date to me. Like, I don't care. Good morning, guys. I just got out of the shower, and my rash is still all over me, so sorry for how I look. I'm swollen really bad. But I thought I'd come on here and talk about how I've been healing. Not so good. Good, then not so good, then good again. I had some type of something, I guess there's shortness of breath, and it lasted for like 5 to 10 minutes, and I thought I was dying, seriously. Like, I thought in that moment, I was like, this is how I'm gonna die. I'm gonna pretty much be, I don't know, I'm gonna suffer. This is gonna be bad, because I could not breathe properly. It would, like, go like this, like that. That's how I was breathing. But, like, and it felt like, oh yeah, you have enough space to fully breathe, but it's like my body wouldn't let me. I don't know. Also, I'm eating yogurt and whatever for breakfast, because sometimes I get hungry, but I have lost my appetite, because this whole time I haven't been eating that much because I'm not hungry. So small foods like this help. After that, I feel like I was kind of manic all day yesterday. I'm not sure when it switched, but I had like a paranoid episode last night. I was seeing people like outside. I kept like seeing them. Like, it's not like, oh, like, that's actually a tree, Alexia. No, I was hallucinating, and it was really bad. And I even recorded stuff and could hear people talking on the recordings. And I was like, see, this time, like, I can prove to people, like, there's actually people trying to break in my house. And I listened to them this morning, because I listened to them last night. And I was like, see? And, you know, Jonathan's like, I don't hear anything. But I heard words, even, like, back, looking at the videos. But when I looked at them this morning, there was no voices. So I don't know. It got kind of scary last night. Like, when I think back on it, I'm like, I was seeing people like in fucking trees. Like, I cannot explain it. It looked real to me until I stared at it long enough, and then it would like show that it was nothing. So yeah. I don't know. I've been paranoid before, and the main thing was people, like I was scared people were gonna break in, but this was a whole new thing because I've had that and it didn't cause me to stay up till 6 a.m. But you know, that's mania for you, being manic. But on top of that, I was just so fucking paranoid. I was so paranoid. I woke Jonathan up twice to like go check out the house, check all the way around the house, check in the house, because when I finally was able to like get in bed and try and calm down, I kept hearing stuff in the house. So I was like, oh my God, they're in the house. Until I took more medicine because I was very itchy, and it was Benadryl. And I took an extra one, and that knocked me out finally. So, but I didn't go to bed till 6 a.m. And my hair is wet, and I have not brushed it. So I look like a complete mess for you guys. Nothing new there though. Hey guys, I don't know exactly where I left off, but I know we were talking about my rash and everything, and again, I can't remember, like I said, where we left off, so I may repeat myself a little bit. I'm sorry, but I want to make sure this gets into the video. So I don't know if you guys really know. I know I was keeping up a little bit, but I found out I have SJS, which is Steven-Johnson syndrome. So the medicine that I was allergic to, and I didn't know that I was allergic to because I missed the signs, pretty much if I would have kept taking it, it would have killed me. So it like every medicine, if you're allergic to it, it will give you a rash or like give you, something like get this out of your system. And the majority of them, once you stop the medicines, within a few days, the rash goes away by itself. Well, we noticed that the rash was not going away, and my stuff that was happening and the way it looked was a lot more dramatic than like a normal rash. And I've never had a rash before, so this was a new ballgame for me. Yeah. So we went to the doctor, and he says, we get into everything, and I tell him, as soon as he saw it, he already knew pretty much because of how bad it looked. And pretty much I had to get on medication, and I had to stop all my medicines because as much as we know that it was one medicine, even with that one medicine, when I stopped, it wouldn't, like I was still breaking out and getting worse. So there was a chance that I was actually allergic to both of my medicines, but we'll never know because you can't, like when you have SJS, you can't play with that. If you keep taking medicine, you're gonna kill yourself. Like it's a very severe rash, and yeah, so it was a little scary because I didn't know any details about it, and then I looked up some, and Jonathan had been looking stuff up, so he kind of let me know some stuff. But yeah, I just didn't know if like I was fine actually. I was just super itchy, and I had good medicine in me that was helping me. And then of course I had creams and all this other stuff because it was so itchy. Like, considered, trigger warning, I considered getting something and ripping my skin off. Like, it was a little dramatic, but at the same time, I literally was like, if I just scratch hard enough, maybe it will all just, I don't know. I was just thinking, maybe I can just get it off. It was torture. I wasn't sleeping very well. I had to take Benadryl around every 4 to 6 hours. And that right there was not close enough. I would end up in like scratch, itchy attacks is what I've been calling them, because I'll be good, which I'm still itchy right now. I'll explain that later, but I'll be good, and then all of a sudden everywhere starts itching just like that. And then come yesterday, I was outside on the phone with my mom because I hadn't talked to her on the phone, and since I had been breaking out and all this stuff happening, and we're kind of talking about it, and then I go to talk and I can't, and then I go to talk again and then I can't, And then I realized I can't breathe. Like, I didn't know. I thought, I kept trying to talk, and I was like, why are you not letting me talk? Like, thinking in my head, like, what the fuck? And so I had to roll out of the, not swing, but what is that thing? So whatever, I forgot, hammock. But anyways, so I had to roll out of that. I just didn't even grab my shoes. I had to go back out and look for them. And I practically almost, I like was on, not on my knees, but I was down, going towards the door because I wasn't breathing, or I was breathing, but not well. It was very short breaths. Chest was tight. And I had anxiety attacks and I had panic attacks. I have them all. But this was something I had never experienced before, and it truthfully scared me because I thought I was dying. I walk in, I'm trying to yell for Jonathan. I can't find him. Finally found him, and then I instantly drop to the ground. And he's like, no, get up, come on. Stands me up, and we go, and somehow we made it into the bedroom, and my mom, I feel bad, she's still on the phone this whole time. So imagine you're talking to your daughter, and then all you hear is your daughter's can't breathe, and you're on the phone. So I feel like a piece of trash for that. I know I shouldn't feel bad because it wasn't obviously my fault, but that's traumatic for someone, I would say. And she lives across the country, so we wanted to make sure before we freaked out a little bit that we called the doctor and was like, because after about 10 minutes or so, I was able to breathe again, like regularly. It was really scary. So usually when I have panic attacks and stuff, I pass out or I'm just crying and like losing it. This was different. And I'm not saying it is anxiety, and I'm not saying it wasn't, because all I know is that was one of the things that the doctor said, if you're experiencing this, you need to call me. Because if you're experiencing it for too long, you need to go to the hospital. Then I said to myself, I'm like, I'm going to die. Like, that's the worst thing. My anxiety and paranoia kicked in real fast. And so that's another thing I'll get into. But yeah, that was literally the worst thing. I feel like some people, like saying that and describing it doesn't sound that bad, but it was so bad. Like I said, that was the longest, however minutes it was, of my life. And I remember when I was finally able to breathe again, I was like, for some reason, of course, I was thinking of the worst case scenario. So I wrote down what I wanted to happen to my animals if something happened to me, like all this stuff, because I was like, that's one thing I'm worried about is people, like, I don't know, the people I care about if something happened to me. So I just what my mind went to. And then, calm down. We talked to the doctor. He said that, so we talked to my doctor. He said that, I don't know, it's kind of weird because he was like, yeah, you didn't have to call me for that, but that is what I was talking about, or something like that. He like contradicted himself. I don't know. But what he really meant was if it went on for a long time and it kept happening, which I would have called him anyways, or went to the hospital anyways or something, because I'd never experienced that and felt like I was dying. And he said, yeah, if it happens again and it lasts for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, then you need to take her to the hospital. And I wanted to go to the hospital, so I felt safer. But at the same time, they were just going to monitor me, just like everybody at the house is doing. So it would have been pointless. And also, I don't have insurance for the emergency room. I did not know that. I've always been on my parents' insurance. And of course, I turned 26 last year. And I got insurance, like the basics, like oh, you get your dentist, cleaning once a year and all that stuff. But I guess I missed the whole emergency part. I wrote something on Instagram about wanting people to just be aware of like what people are going through, and it's not easy for some people to it's not always like, oh, well, just take the medicine and get to work. Like, people think sometimes the medicine is like just hand it to you and everything's great. No, it's not how life works. We still have mental illnesses even when we're on medicine. And one thing that I really want to talk about is being knowledgeable on what you're taking. I had an amazing psychiatrist. She's amazing. This is not anything to do with them, but what I learned. If I would have learned more about my own medicine that I was taking, not just a few things, but all of it, I would have seen if I would have learned more about the medicine I was taking, and cared a little bit more about that stuff, I'm not blaming myself, but it is true. I would have seen the earlier signs, and it wouldn't have probably gotten as bad as it did, even though I still got really lucky. The doctor kept telling me, "You're a lucky girl, you're really lucky," because the rash wasn't leaving, and it wasn't doing. The doctors, I saw 2 different doctors, my psychiatrist, no one knew why mine wasn't ending after I stopped taking the medicine. And that's why we think that I was probably allergic to both of my medicines. But there was so much stuff that added up after the doctor told us some stuff, like other stuff that happens with SJS. And yeah, I was just kind of like, damn, I need to do my own research as well. Like, my doctor, obviously, she told me, like, if there's a rash that ever pops up, you need to tell me, blah, 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 like that. But, okay, I should have been like, okay, well, what happens if I get a rash? What is that called? What are other symptoms that it could cause? And they give you paper and stuff, and I look over those, but I think I learned a valuable lesson to do more research on my shit. You're not supposed to automatically stop your medication. You can sometimes. In my situation, I needed to. It was too risky to keep going. But because of that, think of all the mental disorders and all of that you have, and you're taking medicine for it. So I have PTSD, depression, anxiety. I have bipolar disorder, and I have borderline personality disorder. I'm very, 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 with my PTSD, I get paranoid, but because we had to stop my medicine so fast, in not the way that really should be stopped, my body is freaking out. So I was super manic the past couple of days. I did not sleep. I slept maybe an hour or 2 today, and that wasn't until 6 a.m. I was up all night, and this is some stuff I really want to share because it's really important to me, and it's really important that other people understand stuff like this a little bit better or don't feel so isolated with it. I spent my whole night going back and forth to all my windows with my phone, was trying to record because I swore I was seeing people try to go in the house, like break in. And I thought that they were mocking me, the people that were trying to break in, because they knew, I knew that they were trying to get in and we couldn't find them. So obviously I woke Jonathan back up again, and he goes and looks, and he's like trying to help. He's like, I want you to feel safe, but he's like, I don't know what to do because there's nobody here. Of course, I felt like not crazy. I don't like using that. So oh, no one believes me. Why does no one believe me? Type of attitude. Finally, after laying down in bed again, Jonathan's like, you have to try and get sleep, which, okay, I'll try. When someone's manic, what can you do? Around 6 a.m., woke back up around 9 or 9:30. First thing was I can remember what happened last night, but not everything. And so but I did remember I recorded videos. So I listened to those videos. Everything I thought I heard last night was not there. Everything, when I'm sitting there upset at him being like, you don't believe me, it's right there. And it wasn't. I was hallucinating people talking. I was hallucinating actual people. I thought when we were outside the second time, I swore I saw a man open our window and jump in, and I screamed in the middle of the night. We have neighbors. And Jonathan freaks out, runs over there thinking, and he's like, nobody's there. I don't like, the reason why I'm telling you this is because of that, on top of dealing with this rash and my health and whatever, physically, mentally, all of my disorders are 100%. My brain is saying, we need that medicine, give it back, you took it away way too fast, pretty much. So my paranoia is insane. And I probably shouldn't say that, but it's out of control. People jump scaring you every 20 minutes, and then, which I did better today, but yesterday this is how it was. It was like when I would hallucinate and see things, it would happen so often, but I would get jump scared by it, and it worked every time. So every single time, like I would hallucinate something, I would jump and tense my body up, and then send this like electric, like staticky feeling through my body, because that also happens when you stop your medicine. You get weird stuff like that. But again, we couldn't risk it. It was risk my life, or like guarantee I would have not lived if I kept taking the medicines, because you're allergic to it. Like, what are you doing? You're giving your body poison. That's the stuff I want to share. I don't know how much of it I want to share, but I want to share enough to where when someone is diagnosed with bipolar or PTSD or whatever, and they want to feel seen and they want to feel like they're not alone, I want my YouTube videos to be that for somebody. I'm not great at vlogging. I'm not great at even talking. I'm from a very small town, very southern small town. And I know I say too much. I know I'm not perfect, but that's not why I make videos. I do it out of pure creativity and to express myself and to put out into the world that what I think would help our community and just all around the new generations and all of that. Because I know there's a lot of people when I was growing up that did have to deal with stuff like that, and they just thought I was lazy. I got called lazy a lot. And I know a lot of people do that struggle. But that's not it. We're not born to work and be slaves like 40 plus hours. That's still not normal. I always felt bad for not being able to keep a 9-to-5 job. I have to be an entrepreneur, because if I don't take breaks when I need them, I have bad episodes and it gets bad. So, I work hard to make sure I can stay my own boss. And even that sometimes get hard. And I don't even have motivation for that, because I'm human. Everybody's human. I hope that if you're watching this, you are not somebody who hears that constantly, or if you have in the past, know that it's not true. You're allowed to take days for yourself. You're allowed to put yourself first, and you're not crazy. You're not a burden at all. Yeah, I just really wanted to express, physical stuff that goes on when trying to figure out medicine. And it really sucks, because my medicine that did that to me was God's gift. I don't even believe in God, but I would say higher self or spirit. It was given. Like, I have never been that happy, and for my body to physically be like, nope, it's kind of hurtful. Like, I don't have anybody to be mad about. It's just annoying, right? Like, you finally feel this sense of happiness that you've been happy before, but like, truly, like, I would wake up irritated at people. I hated people. I literally felt like an old man, a Grinch. Like, that's not being dramatic. I would wake up, hate people. I would hate people. And I was like, there's something wrong. There's something more to this. Like, people don't just wake up, hate people and nothing happened. Or like, you know what I mean? It was just so weird. it all made sense once I actually went to a doctor and got it. But yeah, I don't know how much I want to show. I really love like the art and style behind some documentaries and stuff, but I don't know if I'll ever get there because it's really hard to be vulnerable and allow yourself to show people your vulnerable side, as in like this is vulnerable for me and it is for a lot of people, but I really want to show bad. Okay, we're on our way to get Pakkun, aren't we, Winnie? It's 9:25 and we're on our way to get some food in some Starbucks. I don't drink Starbucks a lot, but lately I have. Decaf, of course. She's already laid down, it's funny. Anyways, she doesn't like sitting in her car seat, but she'll jump out of it. She does that all the time. But anyways, we're gonna get breakfast, and then we have to drive above Dallas, which is like a little bit over 3 hours, I think. So long drive, but I'm excited to have another puppy. You're like, sure. The only reason we have animals is because of me. I already know that. But I'm very appreciative. Okay guys, here he is. Pakkun and Winnie. Winnie doesn't understand he's a puppy and she's got to be careful. She's so happy though. She's excited.